Bobby, what about you?
Well, certainly. That's part of my plan in the first 60 days of the year is to review each individual vendor and the pricing structure of them. And so we have made some changes. Some of those have been changing companies to a different vendor, which I hate to do, but sometimes it comes down to that.
But never at the price of quality,
But
I'm
never
sure.
at the price of quality. But we've also been able to get some, for the most part, get our vendors to agree with us to reduce and help us on that end, and as good standing customers. Because most of the vendors I'm with, I've been with for basically the 12 years that I've been there. So it's not very often I change vendors totally, but we have made a couple of adjustments here recently.
Debbie, you and I talked, I remember this from our earlier conversation, so many of us were receiving the fuel surcharges there for a while. I know a lot of your prices probably went up during that time too, so what have you done about that recently?
We actually have taken away our fuel surcharge when the gas prices were so high. In our service department especially, you know, we travel a 14-county area, so we did implement a small service charge to cover the fuel service charge. And the 1st of January we took that away because we know our customers are, every dollar matters, like Bobby said, it matters, so we would reduce that because the overhead expense wasn't as severe to us as it had been, so we felt like that was just the fair thing to do. Were you paying extra fuel cost?
We did. We sure did.
Have they taken it off now?
It's tough. A couple of them have. Our largest vendor that we purchase all of our supplies from, what we refer to as the truck, it still has one at this point, but it's lower. They've adjusted down as the gas prices have come down, so it's been tough. So we did have a price increase last year through that process, but we hate to do that. But I don't know that we'll have any anytime soon. But it had been about 3 years since we'd had one at that time. So, you know, Catiel, I want to just say one thing real quickly, and I'm sure Debbie would agree with me on this, that we are grateful for our staff, the people that do work for us, because they do an excellent job. And, you know, we feel for them that they go through, that we're all going through this time together. And so we're grateful for them.
Go ahead, Debbie.
And that's such a, you know, we're a family-owned business. We're a local business. And Bobby is too. He operates a national chain like a family-owned business, I know, and it does affect our area. As I said, we've got tenured employees, several that have been with us well over 20 years, and it's not just that one employee that's affected by any decisions we make, it's their whole family. And we recognize that and value them greatly.
And those are hard decisions to make, too, aren't
they? They are.
What kind of advice would you offer to the small to medium? You're considered a medium business, I guess, here in Gainesville because of your employees. What kind of advice would you offer to them as they're struggling with the same things we're all struggling with right now?
Well, I think there needs to be an element of optimism. You know, truly, I didn't say this earlier, but 2008 was a record sales year for us, and that's a great issue to have, and we've presented that to our men, and they know that, you know, the industry was good, the economy generally in this area has some growth pockets in it, unlike some others, but don't be afraid to show that optimism, and be straight with your employees, explain it to them, let them know what to expect. I think that uncertainty is a greater fear than anything else. Talk to them about it, and they understand more than you think.
Bobby?
Well, I agree. I'm in Debbie's camp. I think I'm optimistic, and so with us as leader of our businesses, I think it's important that our people see that we're confident, that we're doing everything we can to keep the business healthy and to protect jobs. And you know, it doesn't hurt to, and there's time to time where, you know, I'll get involved in one-on-one times with staff members in dealing with their own finances and helping them to set up budgets and that kind of thing. So that's not an everyday occurrence, but it certainly does happen from time to time as they need it.
Bobby, I would think that certainly you all are recognized, as Debbie's company is too, for such a high level of customer service. I would think during this recession it becomes more important than ever. Absolutely.
You know, we talked about the value of the dollar earlier for the customer, and so they're thinking about it. For us as a company, We're focused on something called second mile service. Matter of fact, I'll be at our annual seminar here soon with Chick-fil-A, where all of our operators will come together, and that'll be the discussion. And we really consider what we do from a service standpoint a part of our recipe. And just as much as cabbage and carrots are in the coleslaw, service is a part of our day. And so that's what we're talking to our people about, and make sure you guys have seen some of the things that we do at Chick-fil-A in terms of face-to-face ordering, fresh flowers, hostess service, placing child mats on the tables. And so there's a lot of things that we do that we're going over and beyond what would be typically going on when I was hired 25 years ago.
Right. Debbie, customer service?
It makes all the difference, and it keeps those customers. Once you get your arms around them, you want to do what you can to take care of their needs and keep them coming back.
Once again, I'd like to thank all my guests for joining me for this discussion on our local economy. And while there is so much uncertainty, let me remind you of some of the companies that started during the worst financial times in history. You've all heard of Procter & Gamble, General Electric, General Motors, IBM, and FedEx. For some of you out there, this is certainly a time of opportunity. If there's a particular issue you'd like to see us discuss on TV 18, you can write to me at Post Office Box 2496, Gainesville, Georgia 30503, email pr@gainesville.org, or call 770-297-5499. For TV 18, I'm Catiel Felts.
You're watching TV 18, the government channel for Gainesville and Hall County.